morning, children. Welcome to Adarsh Vidyalaya e-learning program. I am Stella from Adarsh Vidyalaya English department. Today's class is the supplementary The Tempest part 2. Before going to the lesson, I ask you a few questions. Who wrote The Tempest? Who wrote The Tempest? Answer: Shakespeare. What are the characters in this story? What are the characters in this story? Prospero, Miranda, Ariel, Antonio, King of Naples, Ferdinand, Alonso, Sycorax, Caliban. The characters are Prospero, Miranda, Ariel, Antonio, King of Naples, Ferdinand, Alonso, Sycorax, Caliban. Good. Next one. Who was Prospero? Who was Prospero? Prospero was a king of Milan before 12 years. Prospero was a king of Milan before 12 years. Next questions. Who were the enemies of the Prospero? Who were the enemies of Prospero? The enemies of Prospero were his brother Antonio and the king of Naples. Good. And next one. Why did Prospero command to raise storm? Why did Prospero command to raise storm? Answer: because Antonio and the king of Naples were cast ashore upon that island. We'll go to the next remaining portions. Dear children, now take your book and take the page number 22, and the left hand side, the top corner, you see the page. Having so said, Prospero gently touched his daughter with his magic wand, and she fell fast asleep. For the spirit Ariel just then presented himself before his master to give an account of the tempest, how he had disposed of the ship's company, and though the spirits were always invisible Miranda, Prospero did not choose she should hear him holding conversation with the empty air. Well, my brave spirit, said Prospero to Ariel, how have you performed your task? Ariel gave a lively description of the storm and of the terrors of the mariners, and how the king's son Ferdinand was the first who leaped into the sea, and his father thought he saw his dear son swallowed up by the waves and lost. But he is safe, said Ariel, in a corner of the isles, sadly lamenting the loss of the king, his father. That's my delight, Ariel, said Prospero. Bring him here. My daughter must see this young prince. Where is the king and my brother? I left them, answered Ariel, searching for Ferdinand, whom they have little hopes of finding, thinking they saw him perish. Of the ship's crew not one is missing, though each one thinks himself the only one saved, and the ship, though invisible to them, is safe in the harbor. Dear children, do you understand anything from the reading? Now I explain the lively description of the Ariel. Prospero wanted to talk with Ariel, so he touched his daughter with magic wand. Miranda fell fast asleep. Prospero asked Ariel about his task. Ariel gave a lively description of the storm and of the terror of mariners, and how the king's son Ferdinand was the first leaped into the sea, and his father thought he saw his dear son swallowed up by waves and lost. Prospero appreciated the Ariel and asked about the king and his brother. Ariel replied that he kept them and crew members safe, and they thought themselves the only ones saved, and ship also invisible to them, but it was safe in harbor. Your children, shall we go the next? Now you see the page number 23. Ariel then went to fetch Ferdinand. "Oh, my young gentleman," said Ariel. When he saw him, "I will soon move you. You must be brought, I find, for the Lady Miranda to have a sight of your pretty person. Come, sir, follow me." He followed in amazement the sound of Ariel's voice, till it led him to Prospero and Miranda, who were sitting under the shade of a large tree. Now Miranda had never seen a man before except her own father. "Miranda," said Prospero, "tell me what you are looking at yonder." "Oh, father," said Miranda, in a strange surprise, "surely that it is a spirit. Lord, how it looks about! Believe me, it is a beautiful creature. Isn't it not a spirit?" "No, girl," answered her father. "It eats and sleeps and has senses such as we have. This young man you see was in the ship. He is somewhat altered by grief, or you might call him a handsome person. He has lost his companions and is wandering about to find them." Miranda, who thought all men had grey faces and grey beards like her father, was delighted with the appearance of this beautiful young prince, and Ferdinand, seeing such a lovely lady in this desert place, and from the strange sound he had heard, accepting nothing but wonders, thought he was upon an enchanted island, and that Miranda was a goddess of the place, and as such he began to address her. Lovely children, I explain the amazement of Ferdinand and Miranda. Prospero ordered Ariel to bring Ferdinand. Ariel went to fetch Ferdinand. Ariel called Ferdinand as a young gentleman and told him to follow. Ferdinand followed in amazement the sound of Ariel's voice, till it led him to Prospero and Miranda, who were sitting under shade a large tree. Miranda had never seen a man before except her father. Prospero asked Miranda what she was looking at there. Miranda said that she saw a beautiful creature, but Prospero told Miranda it eats and sleeps and has senses such as them. Miranda was delighted with young beautiful prince. Seeing Miranda, Ferdinand also wondered and thought he was upon an enchanted island, and Miranda was the goddess of the place. Now take the page number 23, the right corner top. She timidly answered she was no goddess, but a simple maid, and was going to give him an account of herself. When Prospero interrupted her, he was well pleased to find they admire each other. But to try Ferdinand's constancy, he resolved to throw some difficulties in their way. Therefore, advancing forward, he addressed the prince with a stern air, telling him he came to the island as a spy to take it from him who was the lord of it. Follow me, said he. I will tie your neck and feet together. You shall drink sea water, shellfish, wither roots, and husk of acorns shall be your food. No, said Ferdinand, I will resist this, and drew his sword, but Prospero, waving his magic wand, fixed him to the spot where he stood, so that he had no power to move. Miranda hung upon her father, saying, Why are you so ungentle? Have pity, sir. I will be his surety. This is the second man I ever saw, and to me he seems a true one. Silence, said the father. One word more will make me chide you, girl. What an advocate for an impostor! You think there are no men such fine men, having seen only him and Caliban. This he said to prove his daughter's constancy, and she replied, My affections are most humble. I have no wish to see a goodlier man. Come on, young man, said Prospero to the prince. You have no power to disobey me. Few children, and I explained the Prospero's rudeness to Ferdinand. Miranda answered Ferdinand, she was no goddess but a simple maid. Prospero interrupted her in between and found them admire each other. But he wanted to know Ferdinand's constancy, so he behaved rude with Ferdinand. Ferdinand resisted Prospero. Prospero using his magic power to fix him to the spot where he stood. Miranda hung upon her father and requested to have pity on Ferdinand. Prospero told Miranda that she should not advocate for an impostor. Miranda replied that her affections were most humble. She had no wish to see a goodlier man. Prospero ordered Ferdinand to come and said that he had no power to disobey him. Dear children, now take the page number 24. Prospero had commanded Ferdinand to pile up some heavy logs of wood. King's sons not being much used to laborious work, Miranda soon after found him almost dying with fatigue. Alas, said she, do not work so hard. My father is at his studies. He is safe for these 3 hours. Pray rest yourself. Oh, my dear lady, said Ferdinand, I dare not. I must finish my task before I take my rest. If you will sit down, said Miranda, I will carry your log the while. But this Ferdinand would by no means agree to. Prospero, who had enjoined Ferdinand this task merely as a trial of his love, was not at his books as his daughter supposed, but was standing by them invisible to overhear what they said. Ferdinand inquired her name, which she told, saying it was against her father's express command she did so. And then Ferdinand, in a fine long speech, told the innocent Miranda he was heir to the crown of Naples and that she should be his queen. Prospero then appeared before them. Fear nothing, my child, said he. I have overheard and approve of all you have said. And Ferdinand, if I have to severely use you, I will make you rich amendments by giving you my daughter. All your vexations were but trials of your love, and you have nobly stood the test. Then, as my gift, take my daughter. Brilliant children, Now I explain about Miranda and Ferdinand fall in love. Prospero had commanded Ferdinand to pile up some heavy logs of wood. King's son not being used to do hard work, Ferdinand got very tired. So Miranda said to Ferdinand to take rest and added that her father was his study room at this time. But Ferdinand refused to agree Miranda's word. Prospero was standing by them, invisible, overheard what they said. Ferdinand spoke with Miranda long time and expressed his wish that she should be her queen. Prospero appeared before them and regretted for his rudeness to him and added that Ferdinand had nobly stood the test he gave Miranda as a gift to him. Now see the page number 24, the right top corner. When Prospero left them, he called his spirit Ariel, who quickly appeared before him, eager to relate what he had done with Prospero's brother and the king of Naples. Ariel said he had left them almost out of their senses with fear at the strange things he had caused them to see and hear. When fatigued with wandering about and famished for want of food, he had suddenly set before them a delicious banquet, and then, just as they were going to eat, he appeared visible before them in the shape of Harpy, a voracious monster with wings, and the feast vanished away. Then, to their utter amazement, the seeming Harpy spoke to them, reminding them of their cruelty in driving Prospero from his dukedom and leaving him and his infant daughter to perish in the sea, saying that this cause these terrors were suffered to afflict them. The king of Naples and Antonio, the false brother, repented the just injustice they had done to Prospero. Then bring them here, Ariel, said Prospero. Ariel soon returned with the king, Antonio, and old Gonzalo. This Gonzalo was the same who has so kindly provided Prospero formerly with books and provisions when his wicked brother left him, as he thought to perish in open boat in the sea. Dear children, the explanation of torture of Ariel and repentance of King and Antonio. When Prospero left them, he called his spirit Ariel. Ariel said he had left King of Naples and Prospero's brother out of their senses with fear, and he had caused them to hear strange sounds. When they fatigued with extremely hungry, he had set before them a delicious banquet, and they were going to eat. He appeared visible before them in the shape of a monster with wings, and the feast vanished away. Harpy spoke to them, reminding them cruelty to Prospero and his daughter. These terrors were suffered to afflict them. The king of Naples and Antonio repented the injustice they had done to Prospero. Prospero ordered Ariel to bring them. Ariel soon returned with King Antonio and old Gonzalo. Dear children, now see the page number 25. Grief and terror had so stupefied their senses that they did not know Prospero, he first discovered himself to the good old Gonzalo, calling him the preserver of his life, and then his brother and the king knew that he was the injured Prospero. Antonio, with tears and sad words of sorrow and true repentance, implored his brother's forgiveness, and Prospero forgave them, and upon their engaging to restore his dukedom, he said to the king of Naples, "I have a gift in store for you too," and opening a door, showed him his son Ferdinand playing chess with Miranda. Nothing could exceed the joy of the father and the son at this unexpected meeting, for they each thought the other drawn in the storm. The king of Naples was almost as much astonished at the beauty and excellent graces of young Miranda as his son had been. "Who's this maid?" said he. "She is the daughter to this Prospero, who is the famous Duke of Milan, of whose renown I have heard so much, but never saw him till now of him. I have received a new life. He has made himself to me a second father, giving me this dear lady," said Ferdinand. "No more of that," said Prospero. "Let us not remember our troubles past, since they so happily have ended." And then Prospero embraced his brother and again assured him of his forgiveness. Prospero now told them that their ship was safe in harbor and the sailor all on board her, and that he and his daughter would accompany them home the next morning. Before Prospero left the island, he dismissed Ariel from his service, to the great joy that lively little spirit. Brilliant children, now we come to the end. The Prospero's forgiveness. Explanation. Grief and terrors had so stupefied the Antonio and King of Naples. They did not know Prospero. Later they knew him. Antonio, with tears and sad words of sorrow and true repentance, requested his brother forgiveness. Prospero forgave them and told King of Naples he had a gift in store for him too. Opening a door, Prospero showed him his son Ferdinand and Miranda. The King of Naples was astonished at seeing Ferdinand and the beauty of Miranda. Prospero said not to remember our troubles past, since they so happily have ended. He embraced his brother and told them their ship was safe in harbor. He and his daughter would accompany them home the next morning. Prospero dismissed Ariel before he left. Dear children, do you understand the story? We understand through this story that forgiveness is one form of revenge. Thank you for watching.